guys, welcome back to the Gamer Emporium channel again. This is Broheen coming at you with another warrior build. We're going to take a look at what is 61 Paragon. So Paragon is a very fast and melee, one of the hardest, actually I think it's the best melee spec for warrior that they have. So opening up the skill tree, 61 Paragon, fill it up. 13 champion, put 4 in Titan Strength, 5 in Take No Prisoners, 4 in Deadly Strikes, and then in Tempest, we do 2 in Amped, just for the fact that you can get Skyfall and Shock Pulse in case your enemy gets further away from you, or if you're running and you're at a distance, you can still do some damage to the enemy. Another way you could do this would be to just keep the 2 out of Tempest and just put Shock Pulse in the macro and stick the other 2 into Champion. Maybe do a little more damage, finish off Titan Strength and finish off Deadly Strikes. So, macros, yet again, and abilities. So a couple things you have to know about the Paragon. We have a thing called follow-up attacks. So next ability is used within 10 seconds of using an ability that generates an attack point is not a follow-up attack. So it's got to be an ability. You have regular attack point abilities, and then you have follow-up attack abilities. So you can cast regular ability that gains an attack point, then you can follow-up ability. Regular ability, follow-up, regular, follow-up, over and over. So now we have a buff called Turn the Blade, so that makes everything go extremely fast compared to any other melee spec. Let's see. Just have some buffs down here. Not really anything else out of the ordinary that you really have to know about. So we'll go through the macros. The first button here that I have is, let's see, what is it called? A Paragon Builder. We use Show Grasping the Horizon, Suppress Macrofailures, Cast Final Blessing, Cast Rising Waterfall, Cast Death Touch, Cast Tranquility, Cast Swift Strike, Cast Grasping the Horizon, Cast Shield of Will, Cast Shock Pulse. So again, Shock Pulse is in there because if you get in range you need something to attack with. We just add Shield of Will in there just for an absorb shield for 30 seconds. It's not on global cooldown, so it doesn't really make a difference. Grasping the Horizon, for some reason I can't remember what that does. It increases the range of Swift Strike, Setting Moon, and follow-up attacks. So that way you'll cast your main abilities if you're at a little bit of a distance. Now it doesn't have to be macroed, but I macro it just because it's a little bit easier that way and it's not really too much of a DPS loss. Again, not on global cooldown, 30-second cooldown. Maybe take it out of the macro from when you're doing raid fights, like raid bosses, but when you're in PvP, that's why I have it in here, because I mainly use this in PvP. So, Tranquility, it's a debuff. I couldn't remember what that did either. Debuffs the enemy, reducing range damage done, so it's good if you got like a rogue attacking you in marksman. Death Touch, Rising Waterfall, and Death Touch is just a instant cooldown ability for have higher damage and reduces enemy strength and dexterity. Now Final Blessing is only able to be used under 30% health. This is a follow-up attack as well as Rising Waterfall, so we put them at the beginning of the macro so that way every other ability is first in line, but it can't be cast until after you use a regular ability. So it's going to hit Death Touch, then it's going to do Rising Waterfall, then you're going to hit Tranquility, and it's going to go back to Rising Waterfall. You're just going to alternate like that. Once you're under 30%, you start getting Final Blessing popping up, which is first, and does not have a cooldown, and it hits for a lot harder than Rising Waterfall. Now there's a combo you can do with Final Blessing later on that I'll talk about in a moment. Your finisher is going to have Open the Stream, Reaping Harvest, and Skyfall in it. That way, when your points are consumed, Skyfall is here as a finisher in case you are at range for some reason. You can still do that finisher damage. Otherwise, Reaping Harvest is your finisher, and Open the Stream. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Open the Stream is actually a follow-up attack. So that is there because you'll deal damage, and then it's damage over time, and it grants 1 attack point. So if you're mashing your buttons, you're gonna hit Reaping Harvest for your finisher, and you're gonna end up accidentally hitting the button more often, and it's gonna do a follow-up attack. It's just there to safeguard you, and actually, honestly, it should be for the most burst. You should actually hit this finisher twice when you're at melee just to get that Open the Stream on the enemy. So, in fact, you could actually... You can't put it in with this because Rising Waterfall and Final Blessing don't have global cooldown. So if you put it under or above Rising Waterfall, it's going to do just that one, whichever one is on top, and it's not going to do anything else. So won't do the other abilities, so that's why we don't do that. Now I did make a charge macro, which I'm not really going to talk about. Other key abilities, Setting Moon, you should open up with this every time and keep it maintained. It's 20-second debuff, or buff on you. It's 20-second buff on you, it deals physical damage and increases the damage of follow-up attacks by 25%. That's huge. So think of your Final Blessing plus 25% damage when they're under 30%. If they're under 30%, your DPS is just going to skyrocket. Flurry is a channel ability. You kind of wing your weapon around for 3 seconds, and it does pretty deadly damage. The other combo I was talking about is once they're under 30%, you can hit them with a combat focus, or you hit your combat focus, and then hit your Alacrity, which makes your your Reaping Harvest, Rising Waterfall, and Final Blessing hit twice. This one makes your Reaping Harvest do 50% more damage. So if you got 3 attack points, basically hit your combat focus, hit your Alacrity, and then start hitting your finisher. Once you're out of attack points, then you just go to your main spam, and you'll start hitting them with Final Blessing twice, follow-up attacking, hitting with one ability, then follow-up attack will hit twice, and finishers will hit twice. So it's pretty awesome. So, but that's basically rotation. Just spam, finish, keep up Setting Moon, and Flurry. It's very easy. Your buffs are Turn the Blade, it's toggled, Enhanced Conductivity, Focus of Body, Soldier's Bearing, and I think you can do 2 of these. So we usually don't use the healing one, so we do Way of the Wind and Way of the River. You have Mark of Inevitability, which is going to make your enemies lose 3600 armor. So we're just going to go ahead and cast that anyways right there. And then we're going to charge in, hit them with a Setting Moon. You should start with a Flurry as well. Now you got your finishers, and just spam, finish every time you're at 3. Wow, I was wondering what's wrong with that. Alright, we're gonna hit new combat. We're gonna try that again. Just remember, every 20 seconds, keep your Setting Moon up. Keep Flurry on cooldown. Oh, this character's not extra geared yet, like the mage is. So we're climbing. We're almost to about 10k. Now I'm going to show you combat focus and alacrity. So we'll clear, we'll hit combat focus, and alacrity, we'll hit our finisher. Look at that. You can see the names of the abilities. Things are hitting twice. 2 Rising Waterfalls, 2 Reaping Harvest, 2 whatever WOTW is. I can't remember what that is. But now we're above 10k, and that's all you have to do. Just keep up your setting moon, keep up your flurry. And that's all that's to it, guys. So I'm going to let you guys get out of here. This one's a little easier than the Tempest spec. Kind of a beginner guide for it. It can get a lot more in depth. I cannot talk today. But try it out, see what you think. It's good for PvP. This is good for PvE. It's good for dueling. It's a fun spec, and it's pretty easy with the macros that I've given you. So again, these macros will be in the description box, and that's really all you need to know. So have fun with it, guys. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and also check out some of the other videos. We got some cool stuff in there over the last week since I was gone. So alright guys, check you later. Have a good one.